Hello, this is Carl. This informative essay will be on the German battleship Bismarck. The Bismarck, you could really, trace its roots back to in the Weimar Republic in the early 1930s. They started to rebuild for their navy, which was really just a coastal force at that point. They built the Deutschland-class Panzer ship. It was a heavy cruiser, which that's right here. Now, when architects started to build designs for a 11-inch gun battle cruiser, which became the Scharnhorst class of 2, right here. In 1934, they decided to start out what was called Battleship F. Stockter was in charge of construction. Initially, it was trying to stay within the 35,000-ton treaty. They got rid of that quickly. Admiral Raeder, who was the admiral of the early Kriegsmarine, demanded quickly a 15-inch gun main battery, 30 knots, which slightly slimmed down the original armor, and they needed to do some quick change in propulsion. Bolhelm and Voss was given the honors of construction, and the final design, named Bismarck interprets, were laid down July 1st, 1936. It was built in Supply 9 and LB. Construction of a battleship takes years. They add the frame and armor and all the internals. On Valentine's Day, there's no significant date why. Reason why. With a 60,000 person crowd, it was dropped by Otto von Bismarck's granddaughter. She broke the bottle. Of course, the ship out of the Suppleys and fully buoyed took several months. Operation Rheineburg was to start on May 18th, 1941. It led from Grinstein Fjord in Norway with the heavy cruiser Prinz Eugen, which actually survived the war. It was blown up in nuclear testing post-war. Spotted by a Swedish boat and was radioed in a position as had its destroyers left when they went to the Atlantic, and they were shadowed by 2 British heavy cruisers. On May 24th, German lookouts spotted the battleship Prince of Wales and a battlecruiser HMS Hood, which the British fired first. In a very short recap of the battle, the Prince again landed first with a hit on HMS Hood's 4-inch ammo locker on the deck and started a serious fire. Then the British just turned into the Germans, hit from Bismarck, hit a midship on HMS Hood. That's HMS Hood. It caused an explosion that tore the ship in two. It's not entirely clear the ultimate cause of the explosion. It could have been a direct hit to the main magazines, or it could have been a hit to the secondary magazines, which exploded in primary. Boiler explosion, torpedo explosion, who knows. The battle briefly stopped. HMS Hood only had 3 survivors. Prince of Wales now outnumbered and with malfunctioning guns because it was just commissioned. It had quadruple gun turrets. Those were extremely complicated, more than already a double or even a triple was. It eventually suffered a hit to its bridge, which killed almost everyone on it. But it was able to make smoke and retreat. Germany did not pursue. It was not their mission to sink capital ships. Bismarck was hit once in the battle, twice, but one hit went through one of its oil lockers and caused the leak. A bit of a distracting action caused Prince Eugen to survive and get away. British carriers. The British carrier Victorious was able to hit it with a torpedo, but damage was minimal. Bismarck was able to do a loop to convince the British they were going back up, but they broke radio silence. They were found by Catalinas. Ark Royal sent in Swordfish, the crippling hit with a torpedo straight to the rudder. The ship couldn't move, and there was no way they were able to repair it. Battleship King George V Rodney, along with cruiser Norfolk Suffolk, closed in on the morning. Bismarck could not, with its firepower split and movement erratic, it almost got a hit on Rodney, but once it got hit in the main rangefinder, it just started to fall down. Its accuracy went apart, and its guns started getting knocked out. A raging inferno started. It's still afloat, though. Almost all admirals were given. Almost all officers were killed. The two cruisers went in to finish it off with torpedoes. Only 114 men survived. This was a big morale boost for Great Britain, and it was a crushing blow for Germany. It is important to state that the scuttling charges were not responsible for the Bismarck sinking, and it was already going down. So I hope you enjoy this.